Hey everybody, it is Elsid 932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. We are here for Love is Blind France. Okay, we are here for Love is Blind France. It has been giving. It has not disappointed us at all. And I thank you so much for being here for our usually weekly live. So, what happens here after you hit the like, share, and subscribe to the channel? Okay, what I would like, what I do is I kind of wrap it up for the week, and then I kind of give the microphone over and invite you up. I will drop the link if you have burning comments and questions. We're going to keep it kosher for YouTube algorithm, but I do like to hear from everyone. What are your thoughts? So what you see in front of me are the only couples to make it to the mayor's office, okay? And y'all, I had to ask the question, what are we doing at the mayor's office? Are we not getting married at the chapel? What is going on here? And the lovely folks of France who are in my comment section said, yes, we get married at the mayor's office. So if you are from France, know the culture, I have questions. Is it usually like this with the chairs? Or is it like we do, at the judges' chambers? Is it only the mayor? Can anyone, marry you? Can somebody be, become an officiant like they can in the States and marry you? Or does it have to be? Everybody says we get married at the mayor's office. What if we're between mayors? Okay. Yes. Thank you. So, yes, here is Sam. Sam is here. She's going to be here just a little bit. Lady Lyrics, glad to see you. Tanya C, glad to see you. Country Cruise, her. Yes, Tanya C, it is always wonderful learning about new cultures. Oh my gosh, only me 23. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Awesome. And around here, when there are gifts, hey Munira, when there are gifts, we dance for our gifts, okay? We say thank you, and that is membership. So here we go. Yes, thank you so much. We get Chewbacca dancing around here. Sorry. Thank you, only me 23 for the membership, and welcome to the new members. Because of how StreamYard is set up, I can't really see you right now. I can't really see who got the memberships, but definitely welcome to the new El Citizens and delegates. Awesome. So just to round it out, hey Debbie, glad to see you. Just to round these folks out. And I'm assuming y'all have watched this. Y'all have watched this, okay? Y'all have watched this. I'm assuming you watched this. So spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, I'm talking about the show. Okay? I'm talking about all the episodes and everything. Van Mee and Sabrina, it's a no. It's a no. Van Mee said no in his vows. He didn't even wait to be asked. He didn't wait to be asked, hey, do you take Sabrina? He said, no. Forget this. I do not. I'm going to say I do not in my vows. Now, Van Mee, my grandfather always say, don't be on display. Don't wear a brand unless you are a brand ambassador. Don't be wearing stuff all over, So when he wore his Prada necktie, I thought it was a little different. Y'all know I had to look it up. Okay, it is a quality leather handmade tie. Okay, so definitely it is of high quality in fashion, and I'm your fashionless friend. Thank you, Huda. Huda is a member. Glad you were able to be gifted. Yes, Munira. Tell them we are kind around here. We are definitely kind. Hey, go to Africa. We're kind around here. We talk about people's behavior, not really them. Thomas and Kim. Kim said no, and she walked out quite slowly. I don't understand. Why are we doing that? Why are we walking out like slow? Was the dress too tight for Kim to just walk out at a normal pace, or did she come for a moment? Hey Dumfries, Spearhead, welcome. Glad to see you are here. I think this is your first time here. Welcome. Charles and Julie. Okay, we started off rough. Charles, we thought you were going upriver. Charles, we thought you were never going to make it to the bedroom, far less the bed. Charles, we never thought that y'all would be at a wedding because of, how Julie said you were not her type. You were not her type. She wasn't having it. I'm sorry, Charles. I really thought y'all were done for. And then Julie showed a whole lot of vulnerability. Julie showed a whole lot of, I hope you stay with me. I don't want you to leave me. And I was like, ooh, we turned a corner. Something happened that we turned a corner. And Charles and Julie, y'all said yes. Charles and Julie, as far as we know, as of the episode, is married. Okay. I'm happy for them. I congratulate them. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought Julie was going to be a no up until the last episode. I was like, Julie going to be a no. Okay. Alexandre and Chloe. I was surprised. Alexandre went home for 2-3 days, talked to his brother. The brother said, do what is for you. Chloe, I find out that Chloe did the dance that Chloe did at the bachelorette party is definitely, a cultural dance for Guadeloupe. I was like, why are we doing this? Why are we featuring this? I know Chloe in Guadeloupe is this. And someone in the comments told me yes, and I went to look it up. So yes, Chloe's dance and costume and all of that was attributed to the Guadeloupean culture. But Alexandre said yes. Now that I was shocked. Alexander said yes. But in his yes, he looked like he was suffering. He looked on the banister there like he was suffering already. I was like, no. Hey, Dammy J, glad to see you. Glad to have you here. He looked like he was suffering. Alexandre, what in the world? You were hardly smiling. Did you get married or did you, was it just a ring or a suffering? Did you get, whew. I was, sad for Chloe. Now they are having a reunion. They say on, I think the 10th of October. I hope I remember. Okay, because Netflix ain't got notifications. But I hope I get the notification when, it is the reunion. I don't know why the reunion ain't tomorrow. Usually it's tomorrow. And they already filmed it. Okay. But one other couple, because these are only the couples that made it up there. Let me pull up the other couple that kind of tore into me. Yannick and Tatiana. Tatiana ain't want to wear a dress. She didn't want to try a dress on. Oh, it's the 5th? Thank you, Dammy J. It's the 5th. Yeah, it's the 5th of October. Thank you. I was like, oh, it's far away. It's next week. My Netflix don't give me notifications. Just like sometimes YouTube don't give you notifications. My Netflix don't notify me unless I open the app. So something's going on there too. But thank you so much, Tanya C and Dammy J. Dammy J, it is usually tomorrow. When we're finished with the season, we usually get the reunion by the next Sunday. It's a whole week. It's a whole week. And then here comes Love is Blind Denver in the mix to throw me off of even thinking about France. But let me get to Yannick and Tatiana so I could drop the link. So those of you who would like to, you don't have to be on camera, but I'm going to ask you to, be polite to each other. We will have difference of opinions, okay? Yannick and Tatiana. Now, remember, y'all, I said, I wonder if Yannick was late, 2 hours late for that perfume date, if he wasn't teaching her a lesson. And y'all, if y'all been going around social media, if you've been going around TikTok and all that stuff, and if we believe the rumors, is that she was 2 hours late for that notary meeting. So in the whole, let's sign this, like, let's get this done. If we believe the rumors, then he was like, I really want to take some time to read this. There's nothing wrong with taking your time with a prenup. Nothing wrong at all. But if we have the notary and you're 2 hours late, we ain't got the time with the notary because the notary, we paying them by the hour. Come on now. But I don't like if he was using this as a teachable moment for her and kind of putting her on the spot. Okay. Yes, people are split down the middle between Tatiana and Yannick. And if you go and you are following Story Time with Ricky, please do. Okay, she got all the tea piping hot. Sometimes you don't want the tea, but she will serve it to you. Okay. Yannick is an established man out here. Okay. His production company actually works with Netflix. So I can understand why we need a little bit of time. Because we got a little bit of a little bit of assets we need to protect. Okay? Mama Dissident was the end of the relationship. It was. Because I don't see any young man or any woman will want to be with anyone whose mother or father is like this at all. It's not welcoming at all. So for me, the end of their relationship was quite telling. For me, it was Cynthia Pardue. I'm sorry. Yannick wanted to talk to her about what was going on. She didn't want to. He said, "Hey, you were late. You were late as well. Let us talk about this. Let us consider this. Okay? Okay, let me talk to you. Your behavior is not up to par as well. Okay? Your behavior is not up to par as well." And she don't want to hear it. She don't want any form of correction. She don't want to hear it. She put on her jacket. He is trying to talk calmly. He is sitting down, and she is in the middle of his sentence. She done walked out and closed the door. Dammy J, yes. Not just a little bit of coin. Some coins. Okay, if we believe the rumor of what, and story time with Ricky, she always gets it together. She is a journalist. She gets it together. Yes. Yes. Okay? Okay? She gets you together. He owns his apartment or condo or whatever. He owns some buildings where his coffee houses are. He owns a lot, Dammy J, according to Storytime with Ricky and her investigative journalist. There is ownership of property, and apparently there is a lot that goes into being able to own property in Paris. Okay, so I'm just saying, not just a little bit of coin. That's why I don't go into the talk. I don't like to call people dusty. I don't like to call people brokey here. I don't know their financial status. And some people like to downplay it so, they aren't a target. But I don't, until we find it out, or until someone, Storytime with Ricky, lets you find out, an investigative journalist brings it to the forefront, then we'll talk about it. Okay? Okay? Sometimes you don't want the tea, but she'll give it to you anyway. Yeah, she will serve you the tea. She will serve you the tea. Okay? I always thought he was well off. He is a special effects producer. He was never broke. Well, being a special effects producer doesn't mean you actually have projects you are producing. So yes, I give you that. But does he have projects? But he has that. He has coffee houses. He has, other things other than just special effects. Okay? I'm just telling you, go on TikTok, Storytime with Ricky, got you together. Okay? Serving the tea. But this, I thought, was a height of disrespect with Tatiana walking out when the man is trying to explain and talk to you. You ain't got to like what he says. You ain't got to respond to what he says. But again, you want to be heard, give him the benefit of being heard as well. I did not like that. I thought that was a height of rude, but y'all done told me this is regular behavior. But I think it's the height of rude. I'd have sat there, let him say what he had to say, and been like, I'm sorry. That's not how I feel. I'm sorry you feel that way. But I think this is the end of a wonderful journey. Have a nice life. Goodbye. That's it. That's it. Because what you're not going to do is have me on 4K, large screen television, Netflix international television, looking rude, shutting the door and walking out. That's what you're not going to do. And if y'all watch my recaps on Match Me Abroad, there's a young lady there that didn't like what the gentleman had to say, and she slaps his Guinness glass out of his hand. She throws her glass on the ground, and I'm like, lady, I'm going to need you to act right. This is not what we're doing on camera. On camera. Now we got destruction of property, disorderly conduct, all kinds of stuff. It could be assault because he done slapped the thing out of his hand. I'm just like, Tatiana, this is not the way to behave. Okay? I don't know what's going on with folks. Folks are cut down the middle with Tatiana's mom. They say she's not rude. She's just being protective. But there's a way of being protective and there's a way of not being rude. But I did not like how this ended. I did not like how Tatiana walked out. I really did not like it at all. So again, that was them for me. So that's all I have to say about these folks. I congratulate the two that got married, Charles and Julie, Alexandre and Chloe. We're going to find out next week at the reunion if they're still together. And I probably, y'all have liked it. I have done a live watch, and I'll see, since I don't have, this week is going to be the last Project Runway. I'm going to see about next week doing, maybe around this time, doing a live rewatch of the reunion. And then, no, it won't be the 5th. Daggone it. It won't be the 5th next week this time. The 5th is the following Sunday. I'll see. I'll probably switch things up and see if I could do a live watch of the reunion with you guys, and see if we could talk about it like right after it shows on the 5th. I'll have to move some things around because I'm doing Married at First Sight UK. European folks, y'all got me. Y'all got me. But I am going to drop the link. Okay. I'm going to drop the link if you would like to come up and have a say about the couples, about the season. Do we want more? Yes, we do. Okay. Yes, we do. Okay. Yes, we do want more. Tatiana needs to find herself in the south of France, maybe with adult children. Hey, would he want to, and I hate to say this way, would he want to have responsibility of her young child? That would be my question with Tatiana in that situation. Rejection is protection. That would be my question. Oh, my headphones fell. That would be my question about that situation. Do they want to be bothered at all with her? I hate to say bothered at all, but that's how I gotta say it. But let me see if I could pin this. So if anyone wants to come up later, they certainly can. But friends, y'all have done the thing. Y'all have done it. Y'all have been wonderful. I am not disappointed at all with France. Y'all have truly came in to the Love is Blind family, kicking in the door. Y'all have kicked in the door of this Love is Blind family, and I am here for it. Okay, I was able to pin the message. My thought was that he wouldn't necessarily want any more children. Okay, I mean, we don't know. I thought Tatiana wanted more children. I thought she wanted more children. I thought so. I thought Tatiana wanted more children. But that's okay. If she doesn't, that's okay. But let's get, until somebody comes up, let's get into more detail. I see Sam is coming up. We'll get into more detail with each couple. Hey Sam, let me change this screen. Okay. Oh no.
Hey
Sam.
Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you.
I'm sorry. I got to apologize. Also, hello, Elson. Hello, chat family. I hope everyone's doing well and having a good Saturday so far. Warning, maintenance is supposed to come. I don't know what time they'll be here. So if at some point I have to mute and just turn off the camera, no, I will be right back. I just will have to let them in to do what they need to do. So,
no problem. No problem. So we don't mind the loud noises.
Okay. Okay. So good to be here. I'm sorry. Did you open with a question? I had to mute the other sound of you, Elson, so I didn't hear myself and hear you at the same time.
No. I didn't have a question. I was going into more detail with each couple, making time. And I was going into the situation with Van Mee and Sabrina and him first her going off at the party at Alexandre and Chloe's house, and then him leaving for the party without her.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done the same thing, Van Mee. I'm not chastising him, but
yeah, I'm not either. I would have done the very same thing. I think my thought on that specifically, but then generally, and I think it can apply to them, and I'm interested in your opinion on this, chat, as well. I got the vibe that no matter what Van was saying, I think he knew that his answer was going to be a no, that the jealousy aspect of it was overwhelming, really, and that there was really no way around that piece of it. And I don't know that I saw him struggling with that decision. I think that's how he felt. I didn't feel like he was on the struggle bus with it. And so where I'm conflicted is, Well, I feel that Tatiana was way to the left, and when we get to her, I have an opinion on that in terms of how she departed and left that. There's this part of me that wonders, is it necessary then to take people to the aisle? And I guess it is, because that's the premise of the show. Once you kind of know, I think the whole go to the aisle and say no. But I know, I see your face. I know that's the premise of it, because I know that's what it is.
My fun and enjoyment. Why are you breaching the contract? Why are you breaching the contract? We're supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in my lovely dress, okay, with my tool. I'm supposed to be decked out in front of my family.
Yes.
You're supposed to take this decision.
Yeah.
And y'all, this is what's going on in Sam's head, y'all. If y'all have not seen it, Love is Blind Brazil, we have a runaway bride.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that tomorrow.
Can't wait.
But that's where Sam is bringing this conflict, okay? Oh, the sound is cracking up. Sam, do you have both of us on?
Oh.
Do you have two?
You know what? Let me see. Let me take you down. Okay, I've closed off the other screen completely. So now I'm just down to one. Am I still cracking up, you guys? I can't see. I have the chat on, but I've turned everything off, so I don't.
No. Rejection is protection. You let us know, because I'm on headphones, so it's not there. But y'all let us know if we're still if it's still crackling up. Yes, Dammy J, you need to watch Brazil.
Oh yeah.
The seniors, the over 50 crowd, they have run away. It was crackling out before Sam. Is that me then? Oh, is it me? I don't see anything on my end. My Wi-Fi is on good.
My Wi-Fi's good.
I'm hearing myself. Crackling is still there.
Oh, see, I'm hearing you smooth.
Oh, both of us. So it must be a StreamYard thing. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not hearing it on my end as cracking up at all, but it must be a StreamYard issue. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm hoping it'll get itself together. It's a little better. Okay. Let me see if I push my microphone a little bit away from me, if it'll be better. That's what Sam is carrying on about.
Although
is that the runaway bride?
Yeah.
The runaway bride.
Although I will say that Sabrina didn't seem shocked by it all. So I thought that was interesting. I think I expected her to be devastated. And she didn't appear to be. She seemed disappointed, but she did not strike me as, I didn't see this coming.
Right. And I think she knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And I hope she knew, because I would see her flipping the mayor's table if she didn't know.
I have to agree, and I say that because of her reaction at the party over just the whole cute versus beautiful versus, am I your type, not your type. I mean, she really came unglued. So I'm wondering if this is one of those situations where the fact of the matter is there's just a lot that we don't see.
Right.
And so there is a lot of that. And I guess that's the case for all of these Love is Blind shows, that the arguing, the dissent, things that are taking place, we just simply don't see that. And so I don't get my first inkling of it until I get their reaction, like at the altar, and in that she didn't seem to be just outdone. I'm thinking, okay, there must have been some things that were going on. And maybe by the time it got to the party where he was looking good and smelling good and had his white shirt, and are you going to be back when? I don't know. I'm out with my friends, or we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. And he seemed to be A-okay with it. And she kind of had
packing a bag to stay at my mama's house. How do I know you're going to your mama's house?
There it is.
How do I know you're going to your mama's house? How do I know your brother is actually in town and you ain't going to get, what they call it, chocolate covered wasted at your friends, right. Or go back to some woman's house because you got your bag packed in the car.
Exactly.
And
I know
where are you keeping your bag when you go to this party? I have questions, but then again, I understand Fammy. I would not want to take her and have to answer all these questions as to who is she. And then next week she's not around.
And the fact of the matter is, and somebody, I'm sorry, the name went by fast. I didn't see it. I think I saw the word, passive, maybe a little bit of passive aggressiveness. I agree with that term completely, because the reality is that, yeah, okay, yes, rejection. My thing is, and I'm going to say as a woman, just because I am a woman, but as a human being, whether you're a woman, a man, non-binary, by the time somebody does not have enthusiasm to bring you to their friends, to introduce you, that's the tell. And I think that to her point, she mentioned, I would have loved to have met his friends. It would have been nice to be able to come with him and get to meet them. And the fact that didn't happen maybe also adds to why maybe she wasn't in shock and awe, because those are the telltale signs. When you're crazy about somebody, you want them to meet your family, meet your friends, and you want to spend time with them. You want to do these things. And so maybe these were the things. Oh yeah, he did call her finally beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you for being here. I think this, if your avatar has changed, I'm sorry. I think this is your first comment here. Welcome. Yeah, he called her beautiful. It's like, ooh, parting gift.
That is so true. That is so true. I don't know if that was intentional on his part. I don't know. Yeah, but
the meeting with the family for me was, torturous. The one good thing I will say is production. Thank you for not focusing on her mother a lot. I don't know, her mother, how far advanced her Alzheimer's is. My great grandmother had an advanced case, and her rubbing of the hand and not wanting to eat. I recognized that, and I was watching this scene, and I was so glad production didn't hone in on her mom a lot, that they focused on Van Mee and her. So I was like, thank you, because there are little telltale signs, and I love that the mom was able to be included in everything.
I agree. I have several family members that are in the throes of Alzheimer's. It's a thing. It's a thing, and everything that you said, the not eating, mine are so bad they don't remember if they had something to eat. It's bad. So yeah, it was handled very beautifully and very delicately.
Yeah, I just don't want people to see her as, kind of pushing the mom. And I was like, I first was like, why are you pushing her? It's like, I've learned that I'm going to ask you twice, okay? And then I'm going to leave you alone. And then I'm going to ask you maybe, 5-10 minutes later, if I see you looking at the food. But, once she's pushing, it's a sign of, maybe the dad told her, your mom really hasn't been eating well today. And she may have taken that responsibility to help her dad and help her mom, pushing this way. But it felt uncomfortable to me. I was like, Van Mee already knew he was a no. Why I got to go through this? It felt like he was uncomfortable because he knew I ain't gonna know these people in a week.
I agree. And I'm assuming that, like I said earlier, which we got to the conflicted part of me, is, it's no show if what you do is you break up these engagements. I mean, you don't have a show then if you're breaking up engagements before you make it to the aisle. So I'm talking out of both sides of my of my mouth there, because obviously there is no show if everybody could just break these things off before they get there. I think my problem is, it's the cancer in me. It's that sensitive part of me that you know all about, that you just feel like, I think with Van and the couples, I seem to want it both ways. I want the carnage because I want something to talk about, but at the same time, I want these shows to vet these people and make sure that psychologically they're in a place, in a space, so that, is it better to just get that no before you make it down the aisle? And I'll be able to get more detailed about that when we talk at Love is Brazil. So it's confusing probably for the chat because I'm sounding crazy, but I think once we get to the Love is Brazil, it'll make sense why I'm like, wow, that went south with the Runaway Bride, and the turn she took got dangerous.
If you see Love is Blind Mexico season 1, if you have tuned into that, there was a bride and groom that ran from the altar together.
Yes.
They ran off when they said, do you take him? She's like, I'm going to take him. And they ran through the gardens away from the cameraman was tripping to keep up with them. And I thought it was a wonderful way. They already told, each other. So again, I have no problem with you telling the other person. I would rather the surprise effect.
Yeah.
Because I like the drama. I am on the Hot Mess Express, okay? But I don't mind, telling them at the altar. And I always go back to when people were getting on Clay with Clay and AD, and it's like, oh my gosh, Clay could have told her, and Clay did da 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 da. I mean, if technically, yes, I felt for her. I felt for anyone who is told a no at the altar, but that is the show. If they're sticking to the letter of the contract, it is the show. Let me go to this one. The cultures are extremely different in the manner in which they express themselves and behave. People in her culture appear to be more passionate and demonstrative, while he is more passive and stoic. Very well said to go to Africa. We're talking about Van, Amai, and Sabrina, y'all. That's who we're going through. All of them. We're going through all of them. Hey, Ezra Sprouts, glad you are a new member. Look around, but the member lives get hot. I just got to warn you. The member lives is grown folk conversation. So please make sure you have your earbuds in, okay? Yes, Love is Blind Mexico was hilarious and wild, okay? And so was Argentina. We go around the world here, okay? So let's move on to the next one. What did you think of Yannick and Tatiana?
Oh, I was so disappointed with how Tatiana at the end of the day dealt with that. I think it was Dami, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. Please forgive me. When Dami said that it was pretty much a wrap after the meeting with Mom, I think that once that happened, I'm making this up, but I think it was a major debrief with the mom, and there was another relative there too, I think.
And I can't remember if it's a sister or a friend. I think it was her friend.
Okay, yes, because I know there was another person there. And I can't help but think there was this major debrief after the meeting. Now, he had done some things that didn't work in his favor. He didn't bring a gift or something as he walked in the door. I think he said words to the effect of, no one speaks to me kind of in the way that you're talking to me.
I don't take this from my mama, Miss Lady.
There it is.
But here's the rumor on the street. The rumor on the street is that he wasn't told ahead of time. He was told at the last minute he was going to meet her mother.
Oh, okay.
That's the rumor. Again, we're going to take it with a grain, pinch, or a spoon of salt. That he did not know that it was the filming was going to happen and meeting her mama.
Oh,
so. The thing is, he walked in with nothing because he didn't know this was, a major thing. This was a major event that he needed to bring something. So he didn't know what it was. And we know that sometimes in filming, they don't tell them where they're going, what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. So I could see that. But then why would production try to put you in this position? It's to cause a conflict.
Yeah, there it is. And then the only way to counteract that, and everything, vision is 20/20 in hindsight, but the only thing I think he could have counteracted that, once he stepped into that house and saw what it was, that this was, although he didn't know what he was walking into, here's what he did know. He walked into a room where her mother was present and his fiance was present, and he was empty-handed. He knew that. And so even if the save was, I am so sorry, it is not like me to walk in empty-handed. I apologize. This is not reflective of my character. I didn't quite know what this was. Fight for your life for an excuse.
But again, Sam, even if he fought for his life, because I'm production, I will cut that out.
Oh, I see. You wouldn't make it in the edit. And maybe he did do it. Oh, you know what? That is my bell.
No problem.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm coming back.
No problem.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Back, y'all. All right.
I'm going to continue the conversation. So even if that was the case and Yannick got there and he realized his mistake, I would be production, and I would not put it in there if he, showed up empty-handed and apologized. It would not make it on my edit room, in my edit, because I would want to put it in here. Here's my, question for those here, is that when Yannick, of course, said, I don't take this kind of talk from anybody. When Yannick did that, I want to know which dynamic, because, I may be, Afro-Caribbean descent. I really don't know the cultures. Who has the, I guess, ultimate power in the room? Who has the ultimate power in the room? Her mama is an elder, but he is the only man, grown man in the room. So I'm just trying to figure out in, in the cultural aspect of it, in a hierarchy of things. Yes, he's at the mother's home. That is her domain. But I'm saying when we're in a room, I know there's a male dynamic, and I know there is a elder dynamic. And I'm like, it felt like they were jockeying for position. He was still being quite calm and whatever. But I'm like, sometimes it's the elder in the room has to, move to the side for the only kind of, male presence. I have seen that before. And I was wondering if just because it's, the mother's house, but I've never encountered an elder or elder lady where it's the only man and she acts this way. Only man in the room. It's not a complete deference, but it's a deference to, hey, this is a male presence in the room. So I kind of like was watching that, and I'm like, what's the dynamic in the room going like? Tatiana's sitting on the floor enjoying the show. Mama is scolding him like he's a little boy. He's trying to say, I'm not, this. Can we speak to each other respectfully? It's like he's trying to, I guess, tread water and rise up and rise above and kind of like get some kind of respect here. But, not signing the prenup at the time is okay. It's okay. Take the time, read it, get your own lawyer, get your own barista, get your own notary, whatever. He wanted to talk to his brothers. He wanted to probably get some financial advice and all of that stuff. Again, I didn't see any problem with him wanting to take a moment, especially if what the rumor is that she was 2 hours late for this. Maybe that's why she was rushing it. I don't like anybody rushing me. And if it's something legal and you're rushing me, I think you're trying to do something. I think you're trying to get one over on me. Okay. I think you're trying to get over on me. Okay. In my culture, the older person has more power. Men must also respect the older person, or he will bring shame to his family. Thank you, Munira, for that. Thank you so much. Glad to always learn and understand dynamics. Okay. Wish they would have communicated better. Me too. Did Yannick come late to the first notary meeting, or is this another one? KC, he came late to the perfume date, and that was kind of after the notary. Word on the street is that she was late for the notary, close to 2 hours, and then when everything came on, that basically I said in my recap, I hope he wasn't trying to teach her a lesson or do tit for tat. Okay. Neither of them were ready to marry. Yannick was never really sure, no matter how much love was there. Okay. Hey, Ari. And y'all, Ari is here. Hey, Ari.
Hello, I am so sorry. I had an appointment.
You're fine.
But so who are we talking about?
Tatiana and Yannick, and how it all just went up in flames.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus, these two.
She walked out mid-sentence. The door closed.
I mean, I don't want to minimize what she's feeling, because I do think that there's some truth to what she is feeling. However, I do think there's some truth to what he is saying too, because he like you're gonna have to let him land his points. I mean, is the way he's saying it a little bit too much? Maybe, and possibly. I will say maybe, yeah. Like, to me, it was a little bit too hard.
Well, I gotta push back. So okay,
Maybe a little.
You're not gonna minimize her feelings, but she certainly minimized his.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that she minimized his too, and that's where I just you can't just call him a child and then keep interrupting him and then expect him to be okay with that.
I hear you.
So
I hear you.
And because I obviously hate when people interrupt me, so I'm just like, that's why I didn't really care for her doing all that, because that shows shows people who you are if you can't even let someone speak. Like, I mean, and we all kind of saw where she kind of got that from with her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't mind the mom speaking up and saying her piece. The problem is that you're cutting him and not allowing him to speak, to try to explain himself. I mean, it may not be the best explanation and we may not like it, and that is something that we have a right to feel. It's just, that's how a dialogue happens. A conversation happens is you say your thing, the other person says their thing, and then you try to come to a sort of middle ground. But if all you do is keep interrupting somebody, why do you think someone is going to want to stay for that? I mean, we saw that he was trying to want to stay and talk with Tatiana, but after a while it kind of gets old if you continue to do that. But yeah.
Oh yeah. And I agree with you. Demi J, welcome.
Hello everyone. Hi. I'm just sounding so ill at the moment, so I can't show my face. I just look
no problem.
horrible. But yeah.
Are you on the mend?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Like, it started yesterday and it's still a bit bad. So it's just like a double whammy, literally menstrual cycle as well as sore throat. I'm just like, what's going on? Oh gosh, in the UK is the weather's changing, so maybe that could be the reason why I'm ill. But notwithstanding.
Yeah. Okay. Well, glad to have you here. What do you got to say? People kind of split on Yannick and Tatiana.
I just feel like they were a crash and burn situation. Like, for me, I just saw it. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that they made it that far to the wedding dress rehearsals or wedding, getting their their dresses and tuxedos, to me was actually quite of a shock, because throughout the process, I feel like Yannick was very much like avoidant. He didn't really care. So if you remember when they went to, I think, is it Crete or somewhere? I'm not too sure where they went to for their like so-called honeymoon, but
Morocco.
Yeah, Morocco. So yeah, sorry, Morocco. They went to Morocco, and the incident whereby all four girls, so Tatiana, Sabrina, Kim, and I don't know who the other fourth person was, but they all ganged up on Charles, and it just seemed so weird. It was just like very much weird. And obviously Kim's fiance Thomas, he was just like, no, I don't like what Kim did. Like, it was very disgusting. He didn't approve of the behavior, basically. And Yannick just didn't care. Like, even though Tatiana was somehow involved, he just didn't care. Like he didn't give a damn.
He said, girls, that's what girls do. Just let them be. Let them be.
Exactly. And I'm just like, sir, like, are you not gonna not say you have to get involved to the point whereby you tell Tatiana off, but are you not gonna somehow talk to her? it just seemed that he didn't really care. And then again, when he was supposed to go to the perfume shop retreat. Again, for whatever reason, he came he didn't even come. Actually, he actually said, he was very dismissive, because I think Tatiana pre-booked that appointment, blah blah blah, and he just was very dismissive of it. He just didn't really care, like just did not actually care. But I think the mother was very, very harsh on him, considering that's the first time them meeting. It's not the second time, it's the first time meeting. I think the mother could have been a bit much more kinder towards him. Comparing her daughter to him, saying that how they're not on apparently Yannick is not on Tatiana's level. Well, he's above her level now. Hello. So the mother spoke too soon, I guess. The mother spoke definitely too soon. So
the mother was speaking off of Tatiana's limited information, and this is where I would get with the mother. It's like, you can ask. So Tatiana tells me you didn't sign the prenup. Why is that? You can still ask aggressively. Now, why didn't you sign that prenup? What's wrong with you? You can still ask, but give him the chance to answer.
Yes, exactly. And the mother just came across, again, I would say dismissive, but she just looked down on him, and I just said, yeah, it's game over for them. It's game over. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with To Go to Africa, who said, since it was the first season of Love is Blind France, I was hoping there would be a memorable couple like Cam and Lauren. I hope that for every first season. We have been spoiled by Cam and Lauren. And don't forget, we also, in that same season, even though they're a bit more private, we have Amber and Barnett, who has welcomed a little girl. So I think the first season of the US Love is Blind, we have been spoiled. We had carnage, and we had two couples that we can truly, truly root for and are going strong. So I think that's why we are kind of spoiled, because I'm telling you, the carnage, if you don't watch the international versions, you're missing out. Because if you have not seen the carnage of Sweden, if you have not seen the carnage of Argentina, Mexico, even Brazil, season 4 and 5, if you have not seen those carnage, we have been spoiled in the US by Lauren and Cam. But Dammy, you were saying you need to watch Brazil.
I need to watch Brazil. Yeah, I can't I know the Brazil one. I know I don't know if you mind me mention other YouTubers' names. If you don't want me to mention them.
Go ahead. We support here.
Okay. That's fine then. Yeah. So Jessie Rue, she did a mini docu series, just a docu video basically on Love is Blind, and how they were basically one stone away from basically something really, really bad going on.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if it was season 4. I don't know what season it was, but
season 4 of Love is Blind Brazil.
Yeah, something happened to a woman. Yes. I'm not gonna say what happened exactly, but yeah. So
basically, during the show, y'all, she said there was DV involved, and Brazil, though the Brazilian people, though their reaction to it kind of made me wonder if that is just women aren't believed, is what they gave me. But also Argentina, there's a clear-cut case of DV, and I also cover it here when I did a Love is Blind Argentina. One of the brides went on a podcast sporting the results of her groom, which is after the show. This is after the show. They've been married for about 6 months to a year, and she showed physical bruising, and she went on a show to show it, and he has subsequently been arrested. So yes, Argentina definitely, while they had a couple of couples that were really good, they had that scandal. So it is, for me, yes, I agree with you, Dammy J. It is certainly wild, because these are strangers meeting in person. I have no qualms about them, not choosing to cohabitate that first night because you don't know that person, but what safety measures are put there? I did watch that from Jessie Wu. That was very telling and very interesting.
Yeah, because everybody was like kind of like looking at Julie when she didn't sleep with shared a bed with is it Charlie on the first night when they went abroad. And I get it. Oh, sorry, my neighbor, I think they're drilling a hole in their wall. You can hear it.
Yes, that's okay.
Oh gosh. Oh, sorry guys, I'm so sorry. But okay, they stopped now. Great. Oh, I haven't. But what was I about to say? Yeah,
You were saying when
looked at
Julie didn't allow Charles to sleep in the room the first day.
I think everybody was looking at her like, oh, she's not attracted to him. Da 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 da. And I was like, guys, have you watched this? Have you watched different editions of this show? Like there are people who are not like on their best behavior. Like she's trying to protect herself, and luckily it worked out for her. I think her and Charles, now they're married, so hopefully let's just see what happens in the reunion. But yeah, I don't think a woman should be put down if she doesn't want to share the bedroom with somebody that she just met behind the wall on the first night. Like I don't blame her. Like
I just watch how she says it. I don't blame her. It's how she says it. It's the how we say I don't want you here. Is the question. And I'm of two minds of it. Yes, it is certainly a distant if he's in the other room, but you still have access to me. You still have access to me. That's my my other qualm. But yeah. And it was her afterwards telling him, I'm not attracted to you. I don't like what I see. It's a struggle. That is where gave me the she don't like him. In addition to that. But yes, Ezra Sprouse does agree with you that there is stranger danger. Ari, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was gonna say exactly what you said. Like she said she did not like him physically like that. So that came out of her own mouth. No one forced her to say that. So I don't know how anyone can. I don't want to say fault, but like not expect people to think that she doesn't find him attractive when she said that out of her own mouth.
I mean that and Married at First Sight or whatever. I just don't judge people if they do want to jump between the sheets real quick. Yeah, I don't judge them for that. I do judge the behavior pattern of, going too physical too fast, and that's what I thought with Julie. As remember, we met, and I guess we're talking about Charles and Julie. I guess she wanted to change her narrative of, she said people always want to sleep with her, but not necessarily marry her. She used more colorful language. But again, I'm looking at it like, okay, she's trying to change the narrative, but how are you doing that with Charles? How are you doing that with Charles? Now, and we could definitely talk about them. I wonder what happened to make the power shift with Charles and Julie. She had the power to dismiss him to the other room. And then all of a sudden, right before the wedding, we are, please, don't leave me. What? I'm like, oh, what happened? What is the shift? Dami, Ari, either one of you want to jump in here? What do you think is the shift in the conversation of Charles and Julie that all of a sudden now we're clinging to him and we ain't giving him the stiff arm?
I don't know. I don't know. She must have seen something in Charles that that she likes, and she admires maybe some of his qualities that she would want in a husband. I don't know. Maybe that's probably what she saw, but I don't know what the exact shift was. Maybe from that couple's retreat that they had. I think that's where the shift happened. Afterwards, really, I think when she walked over and she sat down next to him and she kind of spoke, stood up for herself as well as Charles. I think that was a turning point for them. But yeah, I don't know
Ari?
exactly.
I think Kojo said something on his channel about like about them a little bit, and I think it was like kind of in and out with that video, so please forgive me if I like misinterpreted what or completely got wrong what he said, or I don't say exactly what he brings up. But I from because from my viewpoint, and I was just thinking about this now, she seems like a fearful avoidant, where because we all saw how she was like when they were talking in that restaurant or cafe where um after he had tried to sort of gently nudge her into trying to do more household chores, or duties, whatever you want to call it.
The laundry and not ruin his shirts.
Yeah, like stuff like that. She was talking about how she felt. What's the right phrasing?
Chastised.
Thank you. Yes, chastised um, for not doing enough or not doing it right. Which I won't take from her, because if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I mean, I might feel the same way if someone did that to me. I don't know how I would react in that sort of similar situation, but however, it kind of felt like she was maybe doing a little self-sabotage there a little bit. I mean, maybe not completely, but and that's seems like more in line of like what a fearful woman would do. And then now she's more of the, because as you said, Elsa, she's more of the clinging on to him once the wedding is there. So that's what the fearful women do. They back off and then they cling when someone is doing more of a dismissive sort of behaviors with them.
Right.
So that's what it gives off to me at the moment. I don't,
because we see them too. We see Charles's personality change too in that dinner of he showed us more, a very confident, like, hey, hold on, don't go off the deep end. Let's talk about this. He showed a whole lot more confidence, that dinner.
And maybe she viewed that as coldness, and that's probably why she did that. Like she started doing a whole complete 180. Started clinging to him. That this is not what I usually get into. This is more what Kojo does. So I'll let him speak on it whenever he decides to do videos on it. But that's what I was just thinking, channeling my inner Kojo here. So with that, but that's kind of what I was thinking just now when you brought up the fact that she started clinging more towards him. But yeah.
Well, as KC in the chat is saying, Julie's dad really slayed. He was in a traditional outfit for that wedding, and he looked spectacular. I was like, wait a minute, sir, you are not supposed to outshine this bride.
I thought that was her brother.
I thought that was her dad.
No, that's her dad. That's her daddy. That's her daddy.
Yeah, I know, but I thought that low-key, I thought that was her brother. Like
as Jeannie Mai says, Asian don't raisin. So there you go.
No. No, don't raisin. But he looked spectacular. I said, sir, you are not the bride, sir. But he, when he was asking all these questions, it begged to reason, as To Go to Africa said, hey, the opinions of friends and family are important. I'm like, we did not see a friends and family visit with Charles and Julie, not saying it did not happen, but I would have loved to have seen the friend visits for both of them. We didn't see any friends for Julie. We saw where Charles grew up, where he, where he began and was, truly having a hard time and struggled before he is his successful self today. But we didn't see anything for Charles and Julie with that. And I was like, why aren't y'all showing us at least that piece of the puzzle for them? Because I think that is important, because how Julie said her friends are her chosen family. And then Julie says she does not speak to her mom and so glad her dad is there. It was very interesting. But yeah, dad looked good. Y'all, Casey, you're right. Daddy did slay at the wedding. Was there anything else about Charles and Julie y'all wanted to talk about? Because if not, we're gonna move over to Thomas and Kim.
I was surprised that she said yes. I thought she was gonna say no. I figured he was gonna say yes, but I for sure thought she was gonna say no. But
Not
that's
after she was on his lap in that restaurant. I was like, oh, Julie's a yes.
No, I wasn't gonna buy into it until I actually see Sirius say yes. I mean, I need to see the actions behind the words. So, I mean,
sitting on his lap wasn't enough.
No, really, that's just one instance. I need to see more than just one. So that's why I was like, I need to see a little bit
Talking
more
about
here.
having his babies ain't enough.
Talk is talk. Talk is cheap. Talk is dirt cheap. So
yeah, talk is cheap.
I'm just saying, like, we can't, because men be saying a whole lot of stuff, and we see how women get like buy into it and feel like they got done dirty. We saw it on Ready to Love last night, and the week before that. Like, you saw how Rose went off on everybody that was in her like roster.
I'm sorry, if you buy yourself a ticket to the land of Delulu, it is your responsibility and yours if you get on that train, because it is the height of Delulu.
And I don't disagree with that, but
because I'm
women
sorry,
still do it.
Sorry, all we blend into Ready to Love, but
sorry.
I'm sorry if I'm on a dating show and we are done, and we were dating all these multiple people. What I'm not gonna do is go swimming in that dating pool, because rumor mill people gonna talk. I don't care how fine or how much I had a connection with that man. I am not swimming and allowing one of the people in that dating show to swim around in my pool, because I know the women gonna talk. Not happening. But
I know I don't disagree. It's just that we see it time and time again, and I just wanted to point out that what we saw in Ready to Love. That was my only reason for bringing it up. But so that's why I'm like, talk is cheap. She could say anything she would, because we see what happened with Kim and Thomas. Like, they were doing all this talking. We were doing all this talking. Yeah, they were doing all this talking, and this is what we got. So anyway, I'll let you take us there.
Dammy, you wanted to say any last thoughts about Charles and Julie?
Not really, no. I mean, I think it was kind of obvious that they would at least get married. If they didn't get married, and I'll be like, oh, I'll be a bit surprised, but yeah, like, they seem nice. I mean, hopefully they work out. So we'll just see at reunion.
Right, we definitely would. So let's go to Thomas and Kim. Kim said yes, and she did the slow walk away from the mayor's desk. I kind of figured Thomas was a no, because he told us he was going to be a no when he did not take her to meet his daughter, and he just had the daughter send video messages, didn't even talk to Kim. I said, yeah, it's a no. It's a no, thank you for Thomas. For her, I think every time she has an argument about him, it's about his table manners. It's about he is, not exhibiting the etiquette that he's supposed to. I said she don't like that man. It's going to be a no for her. So I really had very little hope that they would actually make it. Dammy, what are your thoughts on Kim and Thomas?
Kim, she's really typical, French, Parisian, bougie girl. I was quite surprised again that they made it that far to the wedding dress rehearsal, both Thomas and Kim. When kids are involved, to me, Kim didn't really exuberate. She doesn't give, not to be rude, she doesn't give motherly vibes, in my humble opinion. She doesn't exude that she'll be ready to be a mother. To me, she just, I don't know. She barely she looks after her dog, but like, I don't think she's ready for a child quickly to come into her life. Like, and eventually she said no on the altar, you know. So maybe Thomas saw something within her that he didn't want to introduce his child to her after the wedding, which I find quite strange, to be honest. But then again, he didn't want his daughter to catch you know, feelings or get overly attached to Kim if it didn't work out. So I understand why he, you know, wanted to introduce his daughter after the wedding. So makes sense. But Kim, she didn't give that vibe of being a nurturing mother. That's what I'm just gonna say.
Well, you know, she's saying that she had that nurturing vibe for her four-legged you know, responsibility. You know, her dog is very well taken care of, dripping in diamonds. So that is what Kim would say. But I agree with you. I didn't hear the whole, you know, instinct. My question is, you know, if his daughter wanted to go to a certain restaurant versus Kim wanting to go to, you know, this restaurant, how is Thomas going to navigate the two important women in his life? You know, I was concerned about that. Sam, you're back. Go ahead. No, damn, you go ahead.
Kids don't really care about designer. Like, I feel like the kid probably would have drawn on her one of her designer bags, and like she would have had a hissy fit. Like, there's just no way. That's what I'm trying to. There's no way. She's not prepared. Like, she's not. She was not.
And kids would have their elbows, chin, and whatever else on that table.
Yes, exactly.
Sam, we're talking about Thomas and Kim.
Okay, Thomas and Kim. Sorry, I was late, y'all. You know, as I was watching them, they were giving me vibes of this previous show, Married at First Sight, when you had Alan and I forget the woman he married. And what I mean by that, folks, for those who didn't see it, I just got this vibe of, I felt like Thomas was enamored with Kim. And I think that deep down inside, I find it hard to believe that he couldn't feel that she seemed a little bit detached. I wasn't surprised that it was the marriage that did not come to pass. I think that Kim knew early on that he really wasn't her type, in the sense of, from a sophistication perspective. I don't know that she saw him in that way. From a sensitivity perspective, I don't think she saw him in that way. I think the first mixer they went to, she didn't really feel like he had her back. And then by the time she met up with, I can't say his name the way Elsaid says it, Clement.
I love saying it, Clement. Love it.
By the time she met up with him, I think she knew that he was the better match in terms of being synced up mentally, physically, spiritually, that whole thing. I think that felt more accurate to what she was really interested in and attracted to. And again, kind of how I mentioned earlier about Van and Sabrina, oddly, Thomas didn't necessarily seem overly disappointed or overly shocked by it all. I didn't get the vibe from him. I got disappointed, but I didn't get that he was devastated by it all. So I think that I was getting the vibe that, you know, he would have loved for that to work out. She's beautiful. It's an opportunity to get married because he wanted to be married. But I just think he knew that there were just things there that just weren't going to be up to her, for lack of a better word, her standard or her liking. And I don't think, did she, unless it was off camera, I don't think she, or a FaceTime, did she meet his daughter?
No, the daughter sent video messages while he was with her.
Okay.
Not even an actual live video call. But he wanted, you know, as I was saying in the chat, and Dammy brought up, he didn't want her to meet the daughter till after the wedding, is what was suspicious.
Oh, how did I miss that part? Okay, so he didn't want her to meet until after.
Right. And I'm like,
Oh,
what happens if after your daughter really don't like her or she don't like your daughter? There's no gelling of it. It's like, how you gonna navigate? Thomas ain't the one to truly, handle that kind of situation.
right.
I wondered, y'all, I'm messy. I'm messy. I wondered if Thomas ain't get a call, or did he call Eleanor to figure out if he could double back?
Oh, that's interesting.
Is Eleanor his ex-wife or ex?
No, remember Eleanor is the name of the lady that Anais came in and dropped during the mixer. That he was talking, the friend of the friend that he was talking to. I wonder.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope the reunion. I hope the couple who is hosting. I hope they ask him when is the last time he contacted Eleanor.
Well, I'll say this, and the next time you come to Sin City, the first 3 rounds of drinks are on me, Elle said.
Oh no, don't encourage her, please.
Right?
Oh gosh.
we might see her in these YouTube streets in a different way, right? All right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't want that. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I will bet. I don't know why I'm thinking like this, and I know you guys are going to think I've completely lost it, but part of me is like, does he regret that he didn't link up with Tatiana, who had a child? Because remember, that was the first connection.
Yeah.
And so part of me is like, you know what? What if behind the scenes, when it was all said and done, that he doubled back to Tatiana? Because I think he was the one that was like, no, I'm going to go with Kim, thank you anyway, type of a thing. But those two really had more in common in terms of they had children. They understood that dynamic. They both wanted to be married people. I don't know.
I think that
they even came from the same town.
Yeah, same town. She was private school.
Interesting.
But remember, Tatiana was all about Black love. So would she double back with Thomas?
You know what? I think that I get wanting to lead with the right foot with Black love, but the left foot needs to really kind of be close behind it when it's an opportunity to be with a good soul, a good human being. He has a child. They're from the same place. She met him at the mixer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would like to think that there could be this part of her that, even though she had her sights set on that, because that Black love thing that she was into, didn't work out the way she thought. So that was not a guarantee. And I'm sorry I missed. Shoot, if we give closing remarks, I'm gonna have to say what I thought about Tatiana. I know I have to leave, and so we've moved past that couple.
Yeah, you could do that in closing.
Yeah, maybe in closing I could say, but yeah, listen, I think it's a possibility.
Okay. We're going to see if Thomas spin the block on Tatiana or Eleanor. We're going to find out. Ari, you wanted to say?
Drinks on me to anybody who comes to Vegas. Drinks on me.
I got a 1 drink limit, so somebody else going to have to take up.
1 drink?
That's all I do. I don't like to drink too much. That's the only thing I do. Like, so
2 is too much? Daggone it, Ari. I need to renegotiate their friendship contract. Shout out to the Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh wow! Oh gosh!
Right, Danny.
Like, but so when you go on dates, Ari, isn't it like at least 2 drinks? I mean, you might be sober, you might drink sober, so that's okay. But
it's just something I've always just not been into. I mean,
fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'll do like a second, but I try to space that out as much as I can, because it's just something I just don't like to do. I mean, I don't mind drinking. It's just that I'll have a drink, but
I'm friending Ari because my drinks are ginger ale. Okay. So
wow, ladies. Wow.
I'm acting like I'm grown drinking. Look, I'm a ginger ale type of thing. So we be good together.
I had a coworker that used to do that and used to order just orange juice and ask the bartender to put cherries in it to make it look like she's drinking.
There it is.
Oh, okay. Anyway, anywho,
let's go back. We're gonna talk that in Members Live on Monday, y'all. Since y'all talking about drinking and drinks, we're gonna have to have a mixology talk. on Monday.
But yeah, so I was gonna say, like, no surprise with Kim because, I mean, from the second that she saw him at the reveal, she was like, I ain't attracted to him. And she was pretty vocal about that for a little while. And I think even up until the end. I mean, she may not have been saying it as often, but she was definitely saying it, I think maybe up until the end. And so and honestly, and I've told Elsa this offline, I believe that if you're not attracted to him, I don't care. You have the right to not feel attracted to someone if you're not attracted. The problem comes in for me is when she seemed to find anything and everything else to get on to him about, when that wasn't the real reason why she didn't want to be with him. Because I am of the belief that most women, like a lot of men, if not all men, need to find their partner attractive. Because unless you're asexual, I believe most people will need to find their partner attractive, physically attractive. I mean, there's obviously going to be other things that you find your partner attractive about, like, their values and the things that they might enjoy that they like to do or whatever. But it's very rare, and especially for men, and I think also for women too, that you grow into attraction. I find that very, very rare. For me, it was for me, and I'll kind of loop this in with Julie too a little bit, even though we talked about them already. But I think that for Kim, that was just something that she couldn't do, is grow into physical attraction with him. And that was the
crux. Looked like he needed a brush and a wash.
True. That is true. It's just that outside of that, I just don't think she found him physically attractive, and she just would not grow into that. And that was the crux of her problem. And everything else just gave her the ick and compounded on top of that. And so, like, the putting the elbows onto the table and whatever else she said, that's the only thing I could remember outside of the not finding him physically attractive part. But
yeah, it was certainly interesting, as you said. She picked a lot of non-physical traits about him that she really didn't like. And one thing, as you're saying that with the attractiveness, Ari, we only paid attention to Charles and Julie because he was sent to the other room. But many of the other couples, we don't know if we were intimate at all. We don't know.
We know Alex and Chloe were intimate, because I remember that.
Right. But again, it wasn't at the forefront. It was like a snippet of, yeah, guys, it was good, whatever. And it's just a snippet. It was not pushed constantly. We heard all the other ladies, even though they had two bathrooms, they utilized separate bathrooms, from their person, except for Tatiana and Yannick. But I'm saying that they did not overly sexualize this cast, and I appreciated that.
Yeah. But it's supposedly like on social media, I don't think it was necessarily Kim who said it. I think it was like either a friend or relative who said that Thomas had actually said no as well. Like literally said no. But Netflix just did not show it, obviously. Which is I'm like, well, okay, and what exactly do you want me to do with that information? Like, I mean, regardless of if he wanted to say yes or say no, I don't really quite understand why one of them is going to get married. So why necessarily show the other person saying no when both are going to end up not getting married to either one or to anyone at that point. So I don't necessarily agree that Netflix showed it, but I don't know if anybody else feels that way. But that's kind of my thoughts on it. And to your point, Elsie, I didn't necessarily think that he was going to say no based off the fact that he didn't show or let. I was more thinking about the fact that, well, why exactly are you waiting to let them meet? Like, because like you said, that I've heard horror stories, so to speak, about kids whose parent, whether it's their mother or father, who remarry, and they didn't introduce the kids to the new spouse before, and it's like fighting cats and dogs because they don't mesh well. And so that was my only thing. It's like, why do that? I don't. That sounds really bad and something that's not going to work in your favor.
Right. That's correct. It would be bad, not work in your favor. And I hope that, I was wondering about that too with Tatiana and Yannick, if that was also her decision to say no anyway, why he didn't get to meet her son. But they certainly did pictures. So for the sake of time too, let's move on to Alex and Chloe. Sam, you want to start us off with Alex and Chloe and your thoughts? Y'all, we're not doing Cynthia and Jonathan. They're just on the screen, but Alexandre and Chloe will be our last couple we're talking about.
Oh, okay. I was shocked that this marriage came to pass, and I don't think they will still be a couple come the reunion. I find that hard to believe. Alex looked like his body language didn't match his acceptance of the marriage. I went all the way down to the line believing that this was not going to see the time of day. I mean, even she looked shocked. She looked like that, and this wasn't necessarily what she thought. And I watched that scene and rewound it because at some point, and I don't know if this was just production tricks or not, but they kind of paused on his, you kind of saw his face when they were talking about, hey, you entered this without knowing the person and this and that. And his face kind of looked like, yeah, you're right. And I don't know what I was thinking when I did that type of a thing. I mean, he didn't say that. And that's me reading into his facial expression. But I was stunned and shocked that they decided to get married. But I don't know that I believe that come the reunion that they will still be a married couple for no other reason other than he's just not ready for that. He as I'd mentioned before in a previous live, did he ever say he loved her? I mean, I think we got down to the wedding. I don't know if he said it.
He said it at the wedding, just like Bambi said beautiful at the wedding. He said it at the wedding.
Crazy, because he had said it takes him 1 year to 2 years to be able to really even get to that place, which I felt like, okay, that's like Ari said earlier, you love who you love, you don't love who you don't. You like what you like, you don't. There's nothing wrong with not being attracted, and there's nothing wrong with getting into the process and deciding this is not what I thought. But what I will say is, for as many doubts as he had, I say the same thing over and over again. I still don't know why this man entered Love is Blind. I still cannot get my head around, because nothing he said was consistent with a man who wants to be married. He himself said, he had done things in the past. He put that behind for a relationship. He wants to climb the mountains and do this and do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you feel that you're going to be giving up a significant part of who you are and what makes you happy, or what could make you happy, or goals that you wish to accomplish in life, that you think a relationship would be a little bit of a distraction because you have to divide your time between your personal things and your partner, I do not understand why the struggle was so real for this man if he understood what Love is Blind is all about, the premise of the show. And you've got to walk out with the intent to marry, I will never be able to understand that for as long
Right.
as I
He
live.
said he's just passing through Paris. He want to go live in the mountains. And
Mhm.
I was, in my recap, I was like, Chloe, stop comforting that man. You are comforting the person about to tell you no, go away. But I was like, is he kind of choking on his vows? I mean, what is going on here? What is going on? And I'm with you. I will be surprised if they are living on the mountaintop, really happy with each other.
Yeah, I don't see that, and I'll land the plane with this final comment. It saddened me deeply to see how Chloe was twisting herself into knots to be that understanding, climbing rocks, getting nauseous, getting ready to pass out and faint. Yes, it just made me sad to see, because there's a difference between being willing to compromise and being willing to do things to really integrate yourself in someone's life. It might be pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, but you're willing to do that. There is that, and I understand that on some level, but there's a difference between that and then literally taking things, the pendulum swinging so far to the left, because I don't think that's respected necessarily. I mean, maybe in the moment he's appreciative that you tried rock climbing and almost passed out in the process. In the moment, he might appreciate that you made an effort. But at the end of the day, that can always give a sense of desperation and a sense of thirstiness and a sense of I'm willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what. I don't know that at the end people respect that.
What is Alex
So
doing for her? Okay,
there it
because
is.
I know he said he did too much for love in his previous relationship. I know he said he did every and anything. Hey, Motown investor, I know he talked about that, but I haven't seen a crumb that he has given Chloe, and she is well satisfied. I don't get it. I know the connection with Guadalupe, that is huge. His grandmother was able to be there. That is awesome. But I was like, Alex, you can say no. Blink twice if you need rescuing. But I'm sorry, I was not expecting him to say yes at all, because nothing he said leading up to, and again, y'all, this is produced. And even though it's produced, Chloe is going over to Charles and Julie, and they had good advice that, hey, he's taking his time. This is what he needs. But yeah, it sounded thirsty. But you're right. That rock climbing thing, if they do that outside of a controlled environment, even a controlled environment, that's dangerous.
Absolutely.
That is dangerous. That is life, altering.
Mhm.
So, let him go climb, Chloe, if you want, and all I kept thinking was, if y'all have, y'all know I'm dating myself. Y'all have ever seen The Sound of Music, Climb Every Mountain? That is everything I kept hearing when I heard Alexandre and Chloe about this climbing every mountain and his brother talking about mountaintops. That's all I heard. But I was shocked too. I will be shocked if they are married and together. But again, this will be a clear case of she is giving so much and he is giving barely anything. Let me get Ari. What do you have to say with Alexandre and Chloe?
Like both of you, I was shocked when he said yes. I was like, and I was just thinking about this. He looked like Billy up there from UK. He just looked like his life was threatened. And I was like, it was just worse because he was literally choking. I was like, if you don't calm yourself down and just say no, because you really do not want to go, oof. I was a little concerned about him, if he was gonna be okay, because I was like Elsa said, blink twice if you're okay, because at this point you sound like you're about to choke on your words and be unalived. I mean, but like Sam said, I mean, you say yes, they're not going to stay together. I mean, they're not going to be together by the reunion, because as soon as he laid it down on her in Morocco, she was done for. She was gone, absolutely done for. Poor Chloe. I really don't want to see her get hurt.
I don't want to see her like
But-
Sarova from UK.
Yeah, I don't want to see her hurt. It's just like it just unfortunately she needs to kind of see it for what it is, and she just needed to actually pay attention. And that's the issue, that she's not really paying attention. Not to say that it's her fault that he's acting this way, but you kind of have to pay attention to things, and if you don't, it's just how. And I just don't want to see her get hurt, because she like I have said before, she's like the only one who I feel like came onto this show, or at least this version, to really actually go through this process genuinely and want to be married. I mean, maybe other people were too, to at least a certain extent, but I think for her, she seriously want to be married and actually want to take this process seriously. And she's wants to. It's just, I don't know. I just love to see, and the production company for France, count your days, because what is wrong with you? We're putting that reunion on October 5th. Because don't they usually put the reunions the Sunday after they drop the last episode?
Yes.
So, French production, count your days, because I'm so sick of you already, and this is only your first season.
Right.
So,
They're overlapping Denver, because Denver, Love is Blind Denver is coming out. I'm like, why would you do this? You should be releasing this tomorrow. Truly. Unless,
really?
Huh?
Oh, really? I thought Denver is another time, but if it's at the
Denver's
same time.
Wednesday.
yeah,
Denver
October
starts
1st.
Wednesday.
October 1st.
What?
Yep.
Oh.
So my question for this is, maybe it's a holiday in France this weekend, so maybe they think viewership would not be. I don't know. That's how television production happens in the US. So I don't know why maybe the French audience may not be, it may not be advantageous to do it tomorrow. But yes, it's usually Wednesday we get the weddings, and Sunday we get the reunion.
But yeah, I mean,
well, let me know so I could get Dammy in next.
I just hope that Alex didn't conspire with the UK dudes, Cal and Billy, to pull a
90-day marriage.
Yeah, first of the year we're gonna get divorced thing. I hope not, because this is what it's sniffing like, unfortunately. And I'm gonna just lay it there and let Dammy go.
Yeah, I'm really surprised about Alex. Him like saying yes. I think everybody was just like, what? Like, he's saying yes to Chloe? Because throughout the series, it just seemed like he's trying to like avoid settling down, giving excuses. Even when he was like, oh, my dream or passion is to like go and live in the mountains for I don't know for how many months or even years, Chloe was already like saying, yeah, I can, move with him. And I'm just like, Chloe, are you seeing yourself? The fact that you even said that you move for him just like that, because are you not considering your job? Is your job not going to say to you maybe there's restrictions? Hello? I don't know. I do feel for her. I mean, hopefully it does work, but if it doesn't, we shouldn't be shocked, because that dynamic, I don't know, it just seemed kind of off. I think he said that he loved her on the wedding day, the day that they got married, correct? Yeah, Chloe, I don't know. Ugh, oh gosh. Oh, I don't know.
I feel sorry for her. I really, I'm hesitant. I'm sorry. I'm hoping. I don't know why. I think Chloe is so fragile. She's a grown woman. She came into this understanding, but I feel like Chloe is so fragile. And I wonder if it's because we really didn't see much with them in the pods and through all of this, other than his struggles. We haven't really seen how Chloe got to this point of loving him and singing to him in the pods. Even after she sang to him, he sounded kind of hesitant. He sounded kind of hesitant, like, oh yeah, I gotta say you sounded good. But for me, it's like, but he still proposed. Alexandre, nobody twisted your arm. You still proposed. But it's like, how did Chloe get the glazed love look so quickly, and now she can't see past it?
Well, I think if I could just jump in for 2 seconds, I think she was pretty forthcoming before even the engagement. She was pretty forthcoming about her past hurts, how that had been devastating. So I think that's where we grew with her in the sympathy and the empathy of it all, because I felt she was I was worried from her from the start, because she was that fragile. And she was, she'd had such bad experiences, and this was a leap of faith for her. And that's why I think that she's not able to really calibrate quickly or in a way that makes sense. And this is why she's bending over backwards and twisting herself into a pretzel, because she really, really wants, and quite frankly, needs this to work. Even when all the signs are there that, sis, this is not working, she wants it to work. And I think she's wanting to will it to work. She was doing the consoling when he couldn't talk. It's okay, breathe through it, you'll be all right. That type of thing. So I think that's why Elle said, we felt that way, because I think she was pretty honest about she had been through it. And so I think she just didn't, it was more than just wanting this to work. I feel like she needed it to work. And a part of that needing it is the desperation of it all. I will do whatever I can do from my part to make this work. And that's what's heartbreaking.
But right, you have your part. But in the equation, you have to add his part. I'm trying to figure out where his part is. Because he definitely, when they're like, oh, we're married now, and she's all aglow, he is not even smiling, and he looks like he is suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is being held at the mayor's office. I'm like, dude.
I mean, yeah, and please don't be a long-suffering 12 years a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jay's long-suffering 12 years a baby mama from Ready Love. Sorry for the comparison again, but I had to say it.
It's true.
Yeah, long suffering in the mountaintop. And if y'all ain't been in the mountains, the mountain has thin air, okay? It ain't much oxygen to keep the brain properly functioning. So I need you to get it together while we're in Paris. We're at sea level before you try and get to the mountaintop. And I say that because I'm one of those people that mountain air just don't work for me. I mean, it ain't even mountain, just high elevation. And funny enough, Sam, Vegas is high elevation for my breathing, and now that we're going to Love is Blind Denver, that's a mile above sea level. Yeah, it's going to be, I'm going to be brutal with Denver only because I know a lot of people in Denver. Nobody on the cast, but I'm going to be brutal on Denver. This is the second time we in Denver. Denver needs to get it together. It needs to be entertaining because the cast is certainly different. Chloe's friend must regret persuading Chloe to participate in the program. I don't know. Chloe strikes me as the type of person that would be, I'm glad I went through it. There were lessons learned. I'm sorry, I wasn't the one for him. She strikes me as the one that would more internalize and take it as her rather than, he has a lot to work on. But Alexandre, if you were not, what are we talking about in the pods? Did you tell her you were backpacking through Paris and you want to go live in the mountains? Did you tell her in the pods? Because if you really wanted that for your life and you propose to someone, you need to tell them what you envision the life is. That's where I'm kind of like, you didn't even give her a chance to say early on if this is for her or not. I don't like people, pushing the finish line a little bit further. It's like, oh no, I don't know if she's gonna move with me. Did you tell her it's a move? Did you, the only thing we heard was that he wanted to go live in Guadeloupe. And she's like, oh, I've lived there. It is going to be fine because I have lived there for years. I was cool with that. But now we move from Guadeloupe to the mountains. Dude, are you looking for a way or a reason to get her for her to end it so you don't look like a bad guy? I don't know.
Well, that's kind of what it was given. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to that thinking 100%, but yeah, I can see how y'all can make a case for that because that's, if I mean,
False
whichever.
advertisement. Y'all have any last things to say about Alex and Chloe?
The only final thing I wrap up the bow with is just to say that, in situations like that, okay, so controversial, because I know he has a part in it, Elson, and I understand that aspect of it for sure. But I guess from his point of view, he clearly, in my mind, I'm saying clearly because maybe he'd say something different. I think he clearly knew this wasn't it. And he clearly should have been honest with that. And to her side, I think she could clearly see that he wasn't feeling it, that she was having to negotiate and politic to get him to a place where he was not at. And so they were both wrong in that sense. Her, not wrong as in wrong, but wrong as in, girl, save yourself. You already know what you've been through in the past, and the signs are there. So when the signs are there, you should heed. And sir, if you know you're not feeling it, be honest about that. It truly is as simple as that. And I'm saying that as somebody coming from experience where I did that, clutched and held and hoped and prayed that this guy would like. He didn't like me. He didn't like me. I could see that and I knew that. And I just thought if I was nice enough and kind enough and sweet enough and accommodating enough, and the more that I did that, the less he had any respect for me. And I'll land it there.
I'm gonna round it out, Dammy, Ari, and then of course Sam. Give me your last thoughts on the season so far. But we gonna be back for a live after the reunion. Okay, we gonna be back. So, Dammy, what were your thoughts about this season? So,
Ooh, very interesting. It's a good season so far. I do want to know if a lot of them were scouted on the show or not. Like, I want to know how they got on the show, to be honest with you. Especially since Yannick is, rich, he's got money. So I don't know how he got on the show. But a lot of the men, to me, apart from Charles and maybe Jonathan, but the majority of the men, I feel like they were probably casted. However, I do feel like the show overall, it showed about the French culture, showed about the, typical French people of, who live in Paris as well as other people who live outside of Paris. And hopefully we get to see more couples who are genuinely more interested in marriage rather than just like going on the show for the sake of it. Because at this point now, there's so many editions of Love is Blind. It's like Love is Blind Argentina, Mexico. There's so many. So in the future, I do want more people to be genuine about the show and be actually serious, because at the end of the day, these are marriages whereby they actually sign the paperwork in the UK. We hear Sarova, unfortunately, now she can only file for divorce as of, I think, this October. So it is a real marriage. I think people need to take it very, very seriously. That's what I just want from future contestants, basically.
You're right. There's so many, and Netherlands is coming up, Poland is coming up, Canada is coming up. I think there's an Ireland one. I have a post of all the different flags. Mexico season 2 is coming up. Germany season 2, Sweden season 3. Argentina signed up for a second season. Mexico should be Italy. So there's a lot but we would like a lot more Chloes who are here for genuine reasons. Thanks, Dammy, for that. Ari, your thoughts on the season?
I mean, and I told you this offline. I know I told you that offline. I guess 2 out of the 4 ain't that bad, I guess, except for the fact that Alex don't want to be there. Clearly, I mean, and I want to kind of tiny bit touch on Vemi and Sabrina just because I know I came late. I was surprised he said no, but anyway, but that's my only thought on them. But at least for the time being. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather people not say yes that say yes when they clearly don't want to, because that's a recipe for disaster, to feel like you're being held hostage in a relationship you don't want to be in, whether it's just a regular dating relationship or a marriage, especially a marriage, but both. So good on Van Mee, and as much as I may not like Kim, but good on Kim too for saying no, because she knew she wasn't going to be happy, and neither was Van Mee, or in mine. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I mean, neither one knew that they were going to be happy, so that's good. And as much as I may not have liked Tatiana and her shenanigans, good for her for saying no, because yeah, at the end of the day, it didn't seem like either one was going to be happy either. So yeah, just, I mean, Alex, last parting words, if you're watching, please, please, please do not do, like, if you don't want to be there, just say that, and we could all see you did not want to be there. So just, if you and Chloe are not together anymore, please do not do anything you do not want to do. Don't try to rationalize and possibly trick people into staying, if you, or leaving, I should say, rather than try to leave if that's not what you want to do, because it's just it's not fair to try to get them to do something that do what you needed to do. So that's what I'll say.
Sam, wrap it up and have your take on the couple you wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay. So my wrap up would be, I think it's a combination of both, Dami and Ari, which is to say, the smoke I really have is smoke for the producers. Are you casting for a connection, or are you casting for drama? And I think that if you're casting for the integrity of the experiment, which is the word that they like to use, then yeah, what is that casting process looking like when you're selecting people? Because the people that are making it to the cut should never have Alex should have never made it when that wasn't something that he was interested in. So how are you selecting people? And that's not just France, that's all of them at this point. They just seem to be going down this road where they want the carnage and the drama. So I loved it. I enjoyed it because I'm an LIB fan, and I'm going to watch all of them. I'm coming to all of these. I'm going to express my, I'm addicted and I'm here, but I would like to see them do more better by making sure that you cast the right people so that we can get something out of it. Because I'm not sure long-term what this is doing to these contestants that are participating in this and what that looks like for them on the other side of it all. And then my last thing, going back to, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to go back to Tatiana. What I was going to say before my maintenance people got here was simply that I think that once her mother kind of let it be known, they debriefed that, she knew she was done. She shed not one tear when she told the young ladies that she didn't want to try on a dress. I think Kim cried, but Tatiana didn't cry about that. So I think she was done at that point, which then begs the question, what was the point of even meeting with Yannick? Because to his credit, he did try. He was willing to see what could be, if anything. He couldn't even get a word in edgewise. So it doesn't look like she, well, I got mixed up with rejection. Rejection threw me off because that's a great point. You're probably right. We probably would have watched it. That's a great point. That's my cancer, my sensitivity jumping in. So point well made for sure. But what I was going to say to wrap that up is that he did come, he did try, he did want to have the conversation. So what it looked like was she didn't really go there to have a conversation. She looked like to get a moment. She was ready. Purse was on the couch. I think it was a Louis. The jacket was still kind of halfway on. Keys were still in her hand. She was ready to make the jump. So I feel like she just did that for a moment, more so than she did it to just really want to see what, if anything. So that was my double back on that.
Yeah, I wish Jay was here or others, because I think it's probably wild what the folks of, France probably think about her mom. I know it's a little bit split, but Y'all, if you want to know about, Dammy J, we talked about it, the coin of it all for Yannick. His TikTok does show a day in his life, okay? And a day in his life has a whole lot. Okay, Dami? It got a whole lot there. Letting you know.
I need to the Eurostar. I can go Eurostar, be in Paris within 4 hours. So yeah.
Girl, I'm saying his day in a life, and how he dressed on the show is how he's dressed there for a day in the life, taking calls, going on set, going by one of his coffee shops. I'm telling you, the day in the life, it tells you a lot about Yannick, and I understand why he presented himself in a certain way, because he got a lot he could possibly, be tainted. But how he got involved, his production company, he's in animation and other production. He has, investments in some studios in France. His production company is linked with Netflix. They have a Netflix contract. So, lucrative contract, because Netflix don't hand out contracts to just anybody. So, Dammy, I can see a train ticket, okay, in your future. But for all of these, y'all, this was a wonderful season. We will be back for a live after the reunion, which is on October 5th. I'll put it in the schedule, so make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you have the notification so that you will be notified when I do go live or drop, some information. But I'll probably do a live reaction, on Sunday. We're gonna have to figure it out, because Love is Blind Brazil, we're gonna be done with it tomorrow. But please look out tomorrow. Well, later on today, I'm doing Project Runway, the finale. We have a winner, and we're gonna talk about the fashion. We're gonna talk about the fashion at 5:00 today. I hope you feeling good about it, Dammy, because we judge the fashion here.
Yes, 5 p.m. Is it Eastern time?
Eastern time, yes. I'm sorry, It's a little bit late.
Yeah, I think 10 p.m. I think I can join it for maybe like 1 hour or two.
Yeah, it's only an hour. Yeah. It may be longer, but it's usually the chat is just me, but we push it along and we grade the fashion, okay? And tomorrow I am doing Married at First Sight UK at noon EST, because I'm aware of the time difference, y'all. So noon EST, I'm covering the week. I'm doing just a weekly live about all the couples. And when I tell you it is icy, there are more cheek kissing. There's more go sleep in the other room. Married at First Sight UK, for my American audiences, you need a VPN to be able to see it. I don't know why Channel 4 is being real grungy, but in a post that I have, there is another YouTuber that has a lot of clips that you could certainly watch his reaction and get a gist of it and still be involved in the conversation. It's called Rehashed, and the YouTuber is Wilco. Absolutely love him. He's fabulous, out of Australia. And also on Sunday, we're wrapping up Love is Blind Brazil. Thank you to my commenter who told me to go back and watch the last episode to get the aftermath. There's no reunion for Love is Blind Brazil, the over 50 crew. But y'all, when I tell you it is wild, the Runaway Bride, that is just the beginning of her wild behavior. Okay? When I tell you the calls, the stalker-ish nature of it all, if y'all thought France was giving y'all spice, y'all have certainly missed out on the over 50, okay? Yes, Alicia, Wilco Rehashed, yes, he is for Married at First Sight UK. He has a lot of clips, but if you go to my post, I do put a link to his very first one, so you could kind of go through it and you could find the correct one. But I love Wilco, okay, from Australia. Absolutely love him. He's divine. But yes, definitely UK is tomorrow. Brazil is tomorrow. Monday nights is the member lives where we talk real risque. It's 8:00. Yes, I know for my international audience, I'll try and do a member live early, one weekend once I get my weekends back together. And I will say there are interviews. I interviewed Cam earlier, a couple months ago from Ready to Love. I interviewed this past week Queen Catherine from King's Court. And I'm trying to schedule another interview from another show, but I can't tell y'all quite yet who. Okay? I can't tell y'all. It's on a hush-hush. I'm going to try And when it comes to pass, it's going to be a good little splash, okay? It's going to be a good little splash. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Dammy J, for being here. Thank you, Ari. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone that's come in and hit that like, who are subscribed. Thank you, Only Me 23, for granting memberships to everyone. Granted 5 memberships. And I thank you all for being here. And I'll see you on the next one.